for 60 years now. 50, 60, since the early 1960s, late 1950s, early 1960s. Robert Wells, that's what he started. And that's the basis he started it on, was small groups of people getting together in local communities, educating each other and passing it on to other people, and then communicating with their government, with their representatives, and telling them, we understand this is what's going on, this is the way we want you to vote. And the more people you get doing that, and then the other thing that they do is getting, what's the word they use for it? Getting businessmen, people who have clout. Because when you get a lot of little people, unless you get 100,000 of them, you can get 2 or 3 people that have real power, opinion makers, and they can do more than those 100,000.
Like Larry Miller's wife is now over the my vote counts, or count my vote. That great big organization. That's going to do something now. You know,
Yeah.
they've been kind of struggling along and trying to get people to pay attention. Now Larry Miller's wife's in there. You know,
Yeah, you get opinion.
and they got lots of money behind it. So.
There's also another angle too. Is, you know, I held a meeting just with some of my little sister's friends. I mean, none of them are even 18 yet.
Yeah.
But just teaching them how. Okay, what do you do when a cop confronts you? I don't care if you pulled over. I don't care if you just at a public park or whatever. Comes to your door. Learning how to handle confrontations with the government, contract law. How do you, just the basics, so you can better protect yourself when it comes to these courts, to the law
When
enforcement.
DCFS knocks on your door.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you?
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Even,
You don't even open the door.
Yeah, don't even open
Train
the door.
people, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Most,
Here's things to know.
public
Can I
school,
come
right?
in?
Just
No.
just repeat what you're told.
Yeah.
And so when a cop asks a question, they don't even think twice. They just answer it. They don't realize, well, now he's going to use that against you and get as much money from you as you can.
Yeah.
Because that's the system as it is today. Because we have police officers now, not policemen.
Yeah.
So, you know, just even learning, okay, at least, so you're not even scared by it. You know, a cop pulls you over, what do you do? What do you say? What don't you say? Understand your rights and how they apply it there. I think that's an angle that we could be really successful really fast. In a very big way, because a lot of money for the court system comes from that. And so, if we get that out, what are they going to do? They better start answering our interests. You know, I don't know. There's other ways too in that angle too, and I think they can be a little more impactful. And it's not hoping that we get a majority that is yet to be seen yet. You know.
I'm curious people's input on the concept of, I'm not super happy, but lawsuits to try to restore some of this. I mean,
Absolutely.
I saw what you just mentioned about the no municipality in the state of Utah is to give money to the thing. I bet it would not be difficult to find quote unquote injury to have a
Oh, there is.
standing
Absolutely.
to be able to bring that as a lawsuit against it and have that be the argument. And you know that if something like that was passed and create that precedent, since that's what they're going off of, create that kind of a precedent that would, you know, when you get that kind of precedent, that spreads to other cities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Then they
how
can
do
fight
we
in their
do
city.
something?
And in fact, the rules for standing, this is something I've been studying right now. Class action lawsuit against the city of York. How possible would it be? How much money would it take? What would you need? But the rules for standing, they call it locus standi, are very low when it comes to constitutional issues. That's one of the benefits of having a constitution. There's less arguing to do. You know, I have a right to privacy or whatever. You know, the Fourth Amendment didn't give it to me. I have that right. The Fourth Amendment just makes it so I don't have to argue as much.
When something as
So-
big as the marriage amendment, or what's it called? When the Supreme Court can decide that California, the citizens of California do not have standing, how can you possibly hope to do anything on a little teeny local level and get standing in courts? That's the problem, I think.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
it starts with one, and even if that failing wakes people up, then it's a success. That's how I view it. Because more people realize, wait, what? You know, what's this
Well,
going on?
the problem is that decision that said the citizens of California don't have standing sent a message to the whole country. You as a citizen do not have standing. even if it wakes us up to the fact that we're way over the hill right now. I mean, we're
Yeah.
almost to the valley.
But
You know
that's
what I
why
mean?
the benefit of a federal system of government instead of a national system. The founders realized if this entity ever goes rogue, the state didn't lose any of its sovereignty. It just says, well, we don't want that benefit because it's not a benefit. The costs exceed the benefit. So that's why if we get even that principle to apply in Utah courts instead of federal courts, don't focus on the federal court. Utah courts, that's the next battle. We've lost that battle. The more people realize that, I think more people will realize that when we start focusing on more local and state level, because there's no winning there right now. The people of California, they should realize, yeah, we're going to focus on our courts, on our government, but they probably won't. That's bad.
But didn't those fights start at the local level, and they
Yeah.
went through those state courts, and then
And why
to
did the Supreme Court have what they called jurisdiction was because, two U.S. citizens, our citizens.
Yeah.
So we're going to rule on this. Your state law is affecting our citizens. If those two people had realized what they're doing, they're undermining their own nation for this rogue federal entity, not a national entity, federal entity. But there's a way to fight that too, because you have to knowingly contract. Contracts are valid if they don't know. So there's another angle we can probably try to fight that.
Well, I think it's really important too, because as you said, we're way over the edge of the cliff, holding on by the root here, or is it a thread that we're holding on to? Yeah. But because that's the case, you have to know what to prioritize to go after. You know,
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and that's the reason I associate. We belong to the John Birch Society and Utah Eagle Forum, and which are national organizations that have looked at things going on in all the states, and they're saying,